Welcome back. The metal index has been one of the best performing indices over the last couple of days. The Nifty metal index has a gain of close to about 8% in the month of April itself, with names like Vedanta, Hindustan Copper, or showing you up moves of 25 to 30%. Is there more upside in these stocks? Let me ask Deven Choksi, Managing Director, who's at DR Choksi FinServ, who's joining us on the show now. Deven, morning. Any metal stocks on your radar? This morning on Vedanta, we've got a CLSA double upgrade. So from an underperform, they've raised the rating to a buy. They've put the target price at 390. They believe the stock is well placed to benefit from the commodity upcycle. And this is benefiting a lot of the stocks across in the metal universe. Any stock that you like?
Yeah, Rima, good morning. We continue to like the entire metal space per se, and believe that I think this particular move that we are experiencing in the global environment is likely to be a long-term move, largely because of the fact that the amount of investment that each and every country is going to be making in the area of renewables, I think, and also in the area of, I think, the cloud computing. We believe that eventually, I think the requirement of metals for building the variety of infrastructure is going to be on a higher side. Come to India per se, infrastructure spending in the country is going to demand more and more amount of commodity going forward as well. So, from a perspective of looking at the long-term trend, as far as the industry is concerned, it remains absolutely strong and convincing. Some of the companies which are looking relatively more stable now is companies like Tata Steel, particularly. We have been seeing that debottlenecking process is also helping the company in increasing the production as well as in sales. And at the same time, I think the higher amount of cost savings that they are basically getting into due to the use of alternate energy mechanism, which is allowing them to create the possibility of higher margins going for sustainable margins. So we continue to like companies like Tata Steel, continue to like, I think, JSW Steel. Maybe I think SAIL also along with where we feel that I think the business conditions definitely supporting them. For say on the Vedanta, the restructuring of the group is suggesting that the group is getting out of the pain points which they have up till now been experiencing. And if the balance sheet do get corrected, which in all likelihood in next 1 or 2 years, I think will. So in such situation, I think re-rating of the company or the stock is definitely due, given the kind of strength of commodity that they have. So all in all put together, we have a positive direction for the commodity space, in particular the metal, ferrous and non-ferrous included.
Devin, hi, good morning. I wanted your thoughts on Bharti Hexacom. The listing is on Friday. If someone, missed out on the IPO, post-listing, does it make sense to buy?
Good morning, Sonia. Honestly, I haven't looked at this particular proposition, so I think we'll wait for some more time before I study them.
Oh, okay, got it. I'll ask you, post-listing again. What about TCS? Numbers come out post-market hours on Friday. Any thoughts on how to approach this one?
So we believe that I think TCS, Infosys, both of them will be talking out, I think, some amount of strong commentaries going forward. The last year, they have been quite circumspect about the continuity of the inflow of orders. This year, probably, I think that situation is to greater extent, I think, more remain predictable in form of, I think, getting the higher amount of orders. Though the volume or the jump may not be as sharp, but we believe that the long-term contracts with billion-dollar orders, I think, which they are basically going to have an intact, is going to drive the relatively more amount of stability as far as the continuity and the business is concerned. Largely, few points I think which are working in favor of the IT majors, and one of them and very strongly is the computation space in which most of the companies are getting into data computation space. In particular, these companies are cornering more orders. We believe that I think with the AI surge which is happening, probably you are likely to see a larger amount of I think the business inflow coming in from that counter. So relatively we remain strong on TCS. So we may expect around 15% order kind of an appreciation. Should the stock give some correction, it could be I think somewhere around 20% as well. But 15 to 20% kind of upside is possible over 12 to 15 months time in this stock.
Devin, morning. In real estate, what's the top idea? I mean, Nimesh was telling us about that upgrade from on Godrej Properties, strongest pre-sales numbers in that pack so far. But what are your ideas there?
So, good morning, Prashant. So, from quarter to quarter, I think the position may change as far as the number of ideas are concerned, or maybe the names are concerned. Godrej Property certainly, I think, demands more closer look now with the higher amount of square feet under construction and the delivery. Fortunately, the demand scenario remains absolutely strong proposition, and as a result of which, I think the uptake also remains absolutely very, very convincing. At the same time, in the second half of the financial year, we are likely to see the fall in the interest rates, and that could add into this particular momentum for real estate. The larger ones with a higher amount of capacity to deliver would definitely be the Godrej, the Oberoi is included. We believe that I think they are the ones who could possibly be showing relatively stronger amount of growth. Some of the regional players like Shobha and Prestige, I think Prestige of course can't be called as completely regional now, but I think they are the ones who are largely going to be benefiting given the kind of size of project under executions.
The other stock that I wanted to ask you about was Paytm, because there is a lot of brokerages are now resuming their coverage on Paytm. BofA Securities, in fact, resumed their coverage. They're talking about how the business growth is picking up gradually, and there is a re-rating underway, but that could be 2-3 quarters down the road. Do you concur with that view?
So, Sonia, I think it is safer to wait for those 2-3 quarters and then possibly bring up the view, largely because of the fact that this company's business model has been probably, I think, always somewhere. I think they have been initial period. I think there's somewhere they were having growth as a focus area. Profitability was not. Subsequently, profitability came into the focus, and I think now the growth is going away. So I would think that uncertainty factors are quite many, and from that perspective, I would like to wait and see how exactly I see the visibility over next few quarters. Should one get the visibility, then definitely one will have to look at it. In my understanding, this company will have to undergo a massive transformation as far as the business model is concerned. But that's a subject I think which one can talk at length as far as I think what kind of transformation that we are likely to experience from this business model.
Any thoughts? I mean, this has been a very strong stock. In the last 12 months, it's up almost about 40-50%. Do you think there's more on the upside, given that there is so much of a government push as well in this sector?
Yes, Sonia, I think that is the only strength I think that I see in this particular area where most of the companies are probably seeing the kind of order inflows and the business condition surging for them is nowhere before that I think they've seen anything. You look at the size of the company, what 250 odd crore kind of a top line, and I think the size of the business that is coming to you is quite huge. The bigger challenge, as I see in this business, is I think to maintain the kind of financial stability in the business. Because on one side, when you study this business, you find that I think the requirement of the product is quite stringent. So, which means I think there is a longer cycle to produce it. On the other side, the working capital intensity is also increases because of I think the requirement of production and then supply. And at the same time, I think receivables. On one side, you get larger orders. On the other side, you have to manage the financials. Some of the smaller companies are going to be really testing themselves in this particular environment. But what we get, I think, a positive feel out of this particular activity. Most of the promoters and the corporates are ready, including I think the company which you had the talk right now. They probably are ready in I think order to face these challenges. So hopefully they will meet. Only thing that the market should not give them crazy valuation. If they do, then probably I think the punishment will come on their way. Otherwise, I think one will have to buy these companies when the market gives opportunity to hold them.
What about this rise in gold prices? Does it open up a play on any of the jewelry companies, Kalyan, Senco, or even these gold financiers like a Muthoot Manappuram?
So, well, I believe, Rima, the amount of disposable income in the hands of people increasing is certainly going to create this particular model much stronger. We have seen how Titan has traveled this particular, Tanishq has traveled this journey. I think the second tier companies are already forming up their base in this particular environment. And certainly, I think would like to believe that I think the business condition would remain strong given the kind of demand appetite that demand that they are seeing in this particular space. But this would remain cyclical, as I understand. So, wouldn't be very, very sure about how do I value these companies. I may probably, I think, would see that, yeah, the business condition is improving, the activity is improving. but so would be the requirement of additional resources in form of stores, in form of branding, etc. We'll have to wait and see on the valuation. So the potential remains strong.
All right. Deven, thanks for that. We'll do one